What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It is Hart, and today we have another NBA Slate breakdown for Draftkings. If you're new to my channel, please, subscribe, hit that like button. Welcome. My name's Hart. I make daily NBA, NFL, PGA Slate breakdowns for Draftkings, as well as I now make prize pick videos, which I'll have one up today, and then I make NFL All Day and NBA Top Shot pack opening videos and content as well. So lots of content for you guys to enjoy. I'm really starting to pump it out. Also, shout out to my 8th, 9th, and 10th subscriber. My 10th one was my friend, but the other two, random people, welcome to the Hart crew. That's huge. That is now 4 subs in the past 3 days, or 5 in the past 3 days. So really starting to snowball things, really catching up to PewDiePie. So sorry about that. Let's keep it going. Chair's a little squeaky, but huge energy. Let's keep it going, boys. So yeah, let's get into it. We have a 7-gamer for today. First game, Utah-Charlotte. I think today is finally going to be the quickest video when it comes to slate breakdowns. So yeah, let's get into it. Donovan Mitchell at the top, 9K. As I mentioned in my prize pick video, I do really like Donovan over 26.5 points today. So I do see him having a great game in the spot against Charlotte. Great price. His price has come down a bit. He's had a great past 5 games, and I do like him in the spot against Charlotte. So one of my favorite plays for today, Rudy Gobert, 7-6. Also really like Rudy in the spot. Hasn't really been having any monster games recently. Past 2 games hasn't had any blocks. When he has, he really hasn't getting any rebounds or points. But I do like him in the spot against Charlotte. A lot of small guards, a lot of, block opportunities for him. So I'd say, one of these two are definitely a good play for today. Jordan Clarkson, 6'2", scoring dependent. Had a bad last game, but, before that, he's having pretty good games. I don't know if it's one of those, I'd say it's a tournament play, 6'2". He's been having a great month of March, but he is scoring dependent. So if he's not hitting his shot, then he's really not going to get you there at 6'2". So I don't think he get to do it. Mike Conley, been playing okay. He's kind of fallen off a little bit this year. But I don't think he get to go there for 5-5. Moving on, Charlotte side. LaMelo, as I keep saying, love him in the spots. He had 53 last game, playing well. This matchup against Utah is not the best. Utah is pretty good defensively, but I do think this game might be a sneaky track race. I think, there will be a lot of opportunities for people to score. LaMelo in the spot, 8-9. I'm not scared of Mike Conley defense, so I do like him. Terry Rozier, his price is coming down a tad, $200. Not having those huge outbursts of scoring games, but it's not a bad spot for him at 7-9. I know the price is kind of up. I don't know if you want to go there, but I don't mind it. Same with Miles Bridges. I do like him on prize picks a little bit for his points. I do think it's a good spot, even with the tough defense. So I do think he's, I'd give him like a B rating for today. PJ Washington, Miles Plumlee, Harrell. I don't think you get to go to any of these guys. If I was to take a shot on somebody to be Montrezl Harrell, just to, have energy off the bench. He could definitely get you in the mid-20s, 30s, 4,100. That's not, too hard to pay off. But other than that, I don't really like anyone else on this team besides the 3 guys at the top. Washington, Detroit. Kuzma is questionable. Big news. Because if he plays, that takes some usage away from guys like Denny, Rui, basically everyone in the starting 5, because Kuzma is, jacking up shots. Porzingis had a really, really rough game yesterday. It was pretty much a blowout. It was like a 20-point game the whole time. He had like 6 points at half. So I know a lot of people are pissed off by that and him. But I do think it's one of those opportunities to run it back with him. Even if Kuzma's back, they're going to need Porzingis' scoring. Even in the blowout, he played 32 minutes. I do, like him in the spot against Detroit. I don't know if he's a core play of mine, but we're going to put him there for now. Kuzma, if he's back at 8K, I'd still rather get to Porzingis just because of the low ownership he's going to have just because of his bad game. And I do think Porzingis has a lot more rebounding opportunities. He can get you some blocks, so I do like him for, 3 or more compared to Kuzma. Excuse me. Still a little sick. And then if Kuzma's obviously back, I don't think he gets to get to any of these other guys. Rui had a 10-7. No one else is really worthy to be in your lineup if Kuzma's back. As I said, Ish Smith, he had a pretty good game last game, but they have that 3-man rotation of him, NATO, and Sato that they just rotated in at guards. Ish had the good game yesterday, so they played him. So maybe if you want to run it back with Ish, you could take that shot, but it's not guaranteed as I said, NATO and Sato are getting run behind. They're doing a 3-man rotation, so whoever's doing bad is going to play less. Whoever's doing good is going to play more. Really hard to tell between those three. But if you want to, run it back with Ish, I'd say do that. Otherwise, moving on to the Detroit side, we have Cade at the top, 8-7. I think it's a little bit too pricey, even in the spot against Washington. He's been playing well, as I said. Going to get you those assists, rebound. He's going to score. He's going to shoot a ton. But I don't know if you could do it at the spot at 8-7. Sadiq Bey, 7-3. Don't know if you do there with Jeremy Grant back now this game. Corey Joseph. Lennox back. So yeah, my feeling for this side is if you were to play someone, obviously it'd be Cade, and then I'd say the other guy would be Jeremy Grant, 7-1. He's gonna get you, high 30s minutes. He's a decent scorer, can get you some rebounds and assists. Sometimes he's a little scoring dependent. So if he's having a good scoring game, sometimes he doesn't care to go get rebounds and assists. So at 7K or 7.1, it's not bad, but the best play on the side is obviously Cade at the top. Golden State, Atlanta. Steph's, still out. Clay, 8-1. It's a price where people are not going to want to play him just because he's not shooting the ball well. He's not getting you into the, high 30s, 40s, 50 fantasy points. He's just not good this year since coming back when it comes to being the all-star Clay. You think he would be, especially with Steph out, you'd think this man would be averaging like 30 a game, getting you rebounds and assists. I know that's not really his style, but you would expect a player of his caliber to do that, and he just hasn't. So 8-1, he's going to be extremely low owned. So if you want to take that shot and just hope he goes off for like 40 today, it's not a bad game environment. It's a good one against Atlanta. Be pretty fast paced, but I don't think you have to go there. Jordan Poole, once again, going to play like 35 to 40 minutes. He's been playing extremely well the past few games. His price really hasn't moved. So if you want to go there, it's not a bad spot. 7-8 for Jordan Poole. Wiggins, 7-2. I don't think you need to go there. It's just too high of a price for a guy who's going to get you like 30 fantasy points. Draymond Green. I think this is a good spot for Draymond. Hasn't had any good games recently since, he's been injured for a while. But since the games he's been back, 24, 18, 18, 19, and his price went up 500. I think it's because of the game environment. I think we can expect a pretty good game from Draymond, maybe a double-double, maybe close to a triple-double. So I'd say keep an eye out on Draymond, maybe put him in your core, because I do like him in this spot. I think one of these days he's going to have a big game, and I think it might be today. And if he does, that usually means Poole or Clay are going to have a huge game because Draymond likes to facilitate. So I think this is the spot for those Golden State guys to go off today against Atlanta. On the Atlanta side, Trey, top 10-7, price is creeping up because he's been playing pretty well. If you want to go there in this spot, you can. I like it. Good game environment. Bogdan, 6-6. I'd say he'd be my favorite play on this side. He's kind of up and down when it comes to scoring, but he's been playing well the past 2 months. So at 6-6, not a bad price to pay for him. I do like Clint Capella for a bounce back spot. I mentioned the prize picks. His over for points, 9.5, and rebounds, I think it's 10.5. Two back-to-back really bad games, but in this game environment versus Golden State, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for him to get some nice pick and rolls, get some rebounds, score a ton. Or not a ton, but enough to get you over those prize pick points and, to pay off his salary at 6'3". So I'm expecting a double-double game for Clint Capella in this spot. Don't know if I want to do it for fantasy-wise in my lineup, but, not bad. Gallo is back. Hunter, so I'd say this side, Trey, Bogdan, and Clint. Knicks, Miami, we have Randall at the top, 9-4. Questionable. Want to see if he's a play. If he is, I don't mind him at 9-4. He hasn't been his true self, I guess. He's been bad this year, but he's still able to get you there. He's going to be one of those guys in the 9K range people are not going to want to play, so he'll be low owned. He could definitely win you the tournament if he plays really well. It's just that price tag is very scary for a guy like him who could just have a terrible game. But if he's back, that takes, some usage away from RJ, Alec, and the rest of the team. RJ 8-4, I don't think I'd get there with Randall back. He's having been some monster games because he's had all the usage. He's basically been their de facto point guard, even though I know Alec Works has been starting for them with the point guard role. But RJ's kind of taken over the load since Randall's been out. But if Randall's back in, I just don't really like the prices for any of these guys besides Randall, just to have that dart throw for tournaments. Quickly, he's not playing bad at 5'3". I know Obi, he's been starting past two games, 24 and 47. I think people are going to chase. His price has come up a bit. I don't think he gets to do it. So yeah, it's just the main news is keep an eye on Randall if he's in. I really only like Randall and maybe Quickly, but if he's out, I do think you can go back to RJ. I don't think I'd play him in this spot against Miami. But yeah, it's just kind of tough. I don't like this matchup at all. Miami side, we have Jimmy, who's questionable at the top. 8-1. Really like him if he plays. He's been having some down games, kind of get you 40 fantasy point average for a while. But 8-1, good price for him. Him and Udonis has him. Kind of trended on Twitter for yelling at each other during a timeout. So you could say he's probably going to be pretty motivated to play well. He is questionable, so they'll keep an eye on that. If he's out, as I said, a lot of usage will go to Bam, Lowry, guys like Tyler Hero. Everyone on this team is questionable for some reason, so definitely keep an eye out on that. But let's say if Bam's in, and Jimmy's in, or not Bam, if Jimmy's in, I like them both at the top for their price tags. Good spot against the New York Knicks. If Jimmy's out, Kyle Lowry, been playing really well, shouldering a lot more of the load, playing a ton of minutes. Do like him. Tyler Hero, if he plays, he's been playing really well as of recently. I know when I play him, he does terrible. So if he's in and I play him, I'll let you guys know because he will be not playing well and will probably score 5 points. Moving on to the Dallas game. Luka at the top, 12-1. It's Luka. I don't know if you had to go there. It's a great game environment against Minnesota. They've been better at defense, but they're still pretty bad. But it's just that price tag's a little bit high. I'd rather go to guys like Trey for a lot less. But it's Luka, so, he always has that triple-double upside. With him back, that takes out guys like Dinwiddie and Brunson as plays for me. And pretty much the rest of the team. I mean, when he's back, it's just the Luka Doncic show. You'll have a guy like Dinwiddie or Brunson kind of shoulder the secondary load of plays. I know I told you, I think both Dinwiddie and Brunson had huge games when Luka's out. Yep. Dinwiddie went for 44.5. I said I preferred Brunson just because he was a little bit higher price and he'd be lower owned, which he was, and he went off for 37. So both good plays. Not in this spot last slate, but if you want to get to Luka, I'd say go for it. Minnesota side, we have Towns at the top, 9-8. Great spot for him if he plays. I know he's questionable, played the last game, did okay. Prices come down to 9-8. I'd say he's getting close to one of my core plays for today if he plays, just because I don't think anyone else is going to be able to guard him. Anthony Edwards, 7-4, okay price. He's been kind of inconsistent recently. Don't think he's a chase. I do kind of have some interest in D'Angelo Russell at 6'9". Prices come down. The past 4 or 5 games, been playing okay. But as we see, he has that upside into the 50s if he's playing really well, in 40s. So not a bad price at 6'9". I don't think he to do it. Pat Bev, I don't think he had to chase that. Yeah, so my thoughts on the side. If Towns is in, play him, the best spot, best matchup for him. Everyone else is just secondary plays for tournament if you want to get to them. Don't think you have to force it. Houston, Portland, Christian Wood, 8-2. Great spot for Christian Wood. I told you guys not to chase his big game. As we can see, only went for 12-10. But in this matchup against Portland, do like him. Kevin Porter Jr., I do like him in the spot as well. Going to be playing 30-plus minutes. He is kind of like their main guy, if you could say that. And so the past few games, not been playing too great, but he does have that upside in the 40s. And at 6K, that's not a bad price. Draymond Green, just a classic rookie, either going to play well or brutal. Don't think it's go there. Schroeder, no. So, favorite play on the side is Porter Jr., 6K, and then Christian Wood, 8-2. Portland, some of the guys at the top out. Josh Hart is questionable. That's big news because he's pretty much been their main guy when he's been playing. As you can see, he's been playing well the past 5 games. So that's huge news we're going to have to keep an eye out on. Same with Simons. Both these guys are back. It's going to take a lot of usage away from the rest of the guys like Watford, Williams, Eubanks, you name it. Eubanks will still be getting a ton of run. They just signed him to another 10-day, his 4th one in a row, I think. Yep. He's been playing, 30-plus minutes. Been doing pretty decent, especially the last 2 games. So it's 6'3". It's not a bad price. Even with guys like Josh Hart and Simons being back. It's not the best matchup against Christian Wood, but Eubanks is decent in defense. So at 6'3", I don't mind it. There's just a lot of question marks on this side. We'll just have to keep, an eye out on the news. In the last game of the day, Philly OAC, we got Joe at the top, 11-2. I really like him in this spot against the Clippers. Same with Harden. Harden's price is 10K. That'd be a steal when he was on any other team. Maybe not the Nets if they had Kyrie and KD, but 10K for Harden. He always has that triple-double upside. He's been playing okay the past 2 games, but I do think he's going to get back to his triple-double play today, so I'm going to lock him in. And I do like Joe as well, so if you do... Excuse me. I don't know if there's going to be enough value to play, these 3 guys today. But I do really like both of them in this spot against LAC. And with both of them playing, I really don't think you to get to anyone else. You can take a dart throw on a guy like Maxey. His price is okay. He's been playing well past 2 games. Before that, kind of cooled off. But I'd just rather get to Harden or Embiid on this side. On the Clippers side, Paul George is practicing again, which is good news. It'll be fun to see him play. But Reggie Jackson, kind of the engine of the team, 7-5, not the best price for him, but if he's playing well and this game stays close, it's because of Reggie playing well. So if you're going to play like Harden or Harden and Embiid, I would definitely run it back with Reggie. Zubac, don't like him at all in this spot against Embiid. Foul trouble is just imminent. And then, as I said previously, if they're going to keep this game close, it's going to be because of Reggie Jackson and most likely Marcus Morris Sr., So definitely keep an eye on him. Terrence Mann had a great game last game. He's not a bad player. Especially at this price. It's just as I mentioned before. Excuse me. Reggie Jackson is their main guy at 7'5". And then, 1B would be Marcus Morris Sr. And then I'd consider Mann, Covington, Batum, Leonard, Coffee, all like the 2A guys. One of them's going to have a decent game off the bench. It's just, you don't really know who it's going to be. Or just sometimes, just scoring reliant. Mann, as we can see, he's had a pretty good game the past few games. But then you look at Batum, 4-4. He can have a sneaky game. He hasn't been playing well recently, but yeah, so to clear my thoughts on the side, Reggie Jackson, engine of the team. If this game stays close, it's going to be because of him, probably Morris, and then one of these guys, I'd give the nod to Mann. But you can definitely see a guy like Luke Kennard coming off, having maybe like 15 points, 20 points off the bench. Definitely paying off his price, but it's a little risky. I don't know if you do that. And let's just finish off the core for you guys. Harden, Porzingis, I'll give one more. Who do I like in this spot? Let's just do all, making sure it's on all games. I'm gonna go with this for now. Harden, Donovan Mitchell, Porzingis. It gives you 4,500 to play with for the rest of the spots. I think that's doable. And I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. This was a long one, so once again, I failed. But one of these days, we are going to make a shorter one, especially when I come out with my content ideas that I do have for these Draftkings NBA breakdowns. It'll make them a lot quicker, so people will be able to enjoy these longer breakdowns of me just kind of talking and rambling about the guys I like. And then the idea I have will be a 3 to 5 minute video of just like the quick picks, just briefly giving information and stats about the guys I like for the day and the guys that are like tournament dart throws. I think it'll be a really cool idea that no one's really done in this industry. It kind of set me apart, so I do like that. So people have the option of like listen to the longer ones or just look at the quick pick plays. So stay tuned for that. I'm releasing a prize pick video for today as well, so stay tuned for that as well. And I think I'm finally going to release the NFL Premium Pack opening today or tomorrow. So stay tuned for that as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. Please give this video a like, comment and subscribe. It's huge. We've gained like 4 subscribers the past 4 days. So let's get 3 subscribe. Can't even talk. Let's get 3 subs from this video going into tomorrow. That'd be huge. Also, shout out to the guy who left the comment on my video yesterday. I know he's asking for FanDuel, so I will, if you give me a comment of your Twitter name or follow me on Twitter and slide into my Twitter DMs, I'll give you my FanDuel options there. And if FanDuel is something people want in the future, I'm going to wait for a little bit more people to ask for it just so I can, make special content for that. But right now, I'll just, answer questions in your DMs. I'll look at the FanDuel pricing and say who I like on that side. But just want to thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.